Hello, welcome to Lotus tutorial, complete C Sharp, lesson 7, comments in C Sharp. In this session, we are going to learn about the comments, types of comments and the advantages of comments. What is commenting? Commenting is the art of describing what your program is going to do in high level English statements. In the sense, you have written a piece of code and if you want to describe to the third person what that code is going to do, then you can explain by the help of comments. Okay, and there are three types of comments: single line, multi-line and XML documentation. Right now let me show you the single line and multi-line comment. Okay, and C# compiler ignore comments, in the sense whatever you commented, that part is ignored by the compiler and it's not going to execute that. So let me jump into Visual Studio and let me show you how to make a single line comment, multi-line comment. For example, let me add two variables and the values are associated with them are 10 and the value with the variable b is 20. Now I want to print them. So what I'll do is b. Now when I run this application, I'll get the output as 10 and 20 as expected. Now my objective is I want to comment this part. So this is a single line. How do I comment single line? With two forward slashes. Okay, sorry, with two backward slashes. You have to apply backward slash in front of this. So now I have to comment this part also. This is called single line comment. When I do Ctrl F5, I'll get the output as 20. Okay, now if you want to comment the entire part present here, how can I comment? It's very simple. What you need to do is you need to start with the backward slash, then the asterisk key, and at the end you have to end with the asterisk key, then the backward slash. Okay, this is what this multi-line comment is. This is one way of doing it, and we are doing it manually. Now if you want to do it with the help of Visual Studio items, then how can do it? Now if you want to comment the entire part, then you have to select the entire thing, then you have to press on this tab present here, which comments the things very easily. Now if you want to uncomment, then press the next tab over it to uncomment, and you can do it manually also with the help of shortcut keys. That is, if you want to comment these things, press Ctrl+K, C. C stands for commenting, and if you want to uncomment, press Ctrl+K, U. U stands for uncommenting. Do Ctrl+S. Okay, now when I execute, I'll get the output as 10 and 20. This is how we can comment and uncomment with the keyboard shortcuts as well as the items tabs present in this item of Visual Studio Code, Visual Studio. Okay, now let me make you understand the XML documentation comment. So for example, let me make you understand what is XML documentation comment. Let me write a method here right now. Don't worry what is method. In the coming sessions we are going to learn briefly about methods, and it's going to be add method. It's going to take two parameters, int a, int b. So it's going to return a plus b. Okay, now let me make this method as static. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this method here, and I'm going to pass two values to it, 10, 20, and then let me int result. Now when I do Ctrl F5, I'll get the output as 30 as expected. Okay, now when I overrun this method is just telling, like, it takes input parameters a and b, input two input parameters, that is, which stores in the variables a and b, and return type is int. Now if I want to describe more about this method, then I can go up with XML documentation comment. How to write XML documentation comment, how to describe this method with the help of XML documentation. So it always starts with the three backward slashes. When I do this, I'm going to get this summary and the other thing. I'll tell like this method, this is addition method. Okay, and I do Ctrl+S, and I want to describe the variables also. This is a variable, named A, and this variable named B. Okay, now what we are doing is we are writing a documentation about this method, like what is this method going to do. Okay, now when I build this project, now when I overrun this method, okay, you can observe earlier we are not getting this is addition method. Now how can we achieve this? Now if I want to describe my own method, and I can achieve that with the help of XML documentation comment. Right now you can observe very clearly. Now what I'll do, I'll just call this method again. Okay, when I do this, okay, you can observe here when I want to pass the value to the variable a, it's telling like this is a variable named a, so I'm passing 10, and after that I'm getting b, this is a variable named b, this is what we are written here. Okay, and the value is 20, and I end up with the semicolon. And after that, when I overrun this add method, you can observe very clearly this add method is having a description telling like this is addition method. Let me add something else which takes two parameters. Ctrl+S, Ctrl+Shift+P. Now when I overrun this method, you can observe very clearly this is addition method which takes two parameters. What it does is it describes about this method. How can we achieve this type of thing? Documentation with the help of XML documentation only. Okay, and this is what XML documentation is. So this is what we learned, like single line comment, multi-line comment, and XML documentation comment. And we learned the keyboard shortcuts. And comments are necessary when some other programmers, the advantages of comments is comments are necessary when some other programmer later work on it. They will also be helpful when you want to work again on the program after 1 or 2 years, when you forget that the code what it performs. In this sense, if you're working on some project and due to some reasons you're leaving that project, and if the third person come to your project, and you should be knowing like what each piece of code present over there, and how can we explain him very clearly with the help of comments. And also comments are very helpful in understanding large programs and the program flow. Yes, this is what the advantage of using a comments. And finally, thank you for listening. Have a great day.